Hi, my name is Reggie, and this is my response to the video. Okay, put together pretty good video put together. However, there's a lot of discrepancies in the video. Okay, usually if someone's gonna try to make you believe what they want you to believe, they're gonna illustrate things in a way to make their point. Okay, but there are a lot of discrepancies in that, and life insurance is a big issue, and most families don't understand how life insurance works. And unfortunately, because of that, agents are able to take advantage of what we lack in knowledge when it comes to that. Okay, now as far as Dave Ramsey goes, Dave Ramsey is an advocate for mostly middle-class families, middle-class America. Okay, and here's the problem, is that you have a lot of people that usually try to sell and attract the middle market, but they're using vehicles that are made for the affluent to pass on down to middle-class families. And these vehicles aren't for middle-class families because we're not affluent. We don't have droves of money to be invested in things like that. So a lot of times when Dave Ramsey talks, he's usually talking from the terms of really trying to talk down to the middle-class families. Okay, life insurance, this video is trying to portray to you, something that Dave Ramsey spoke about, life insurance as far as term versus whole life. Now these gentlemen are reacting to what Dave Ramsey said, okay? But they didn't do an effective job of responding, because what they did is they showed you numbers, they showed you, diagrams based on how they want to perceive their vehicle, versus doing a thorough job and showing how effective term can be for middle-class families. Okay, now what I wanted to take you to is, let's go back to their video. At about 1 minute and 5 seconds into their video, this is what the gentleman said. Okay, he said, first of all, in a way, we absolutely agree with Dave Ramsey. When it comes to the way most agents out there structure life insurance policies, they don't do it correctly. Now I'm quoting him from his video. Okay, they don't do it correctly. Now what I would like to ask is, what percentage of agents don't do it correctly? 70% of families in America have what's called whole life insurance, and a lot of them are the type of insurance that the gentleman is sharing to you in this illustration, which is a variable universal life, or what's called basically universal life insurance. Okay, 70% of families have that. So of that market, of the life insurance industry, how many agents are doing it correctly? I mean, I would assume that every agent has to take a life insurance exam. I'm sure all the questions are the same. They're being taught the same. So is there just this one office or this one organization that have their agents doing it the right way? And that's a scary thought when you think of that quote alone, that most agents out there aren't doing it the right way. See, now what term life insurance does is pure vanilla insurance. There's no guesswork, there's no bells, no whistles, no frills. It's just pure insurance. It's like your auto insurance. You pay a premium every month. If you get in an accident, you're covered. Okay, that's what term insurance is. You pay a premium every month, somebody die, the beneficiary gets a death benefit. Okay, now one of the things, let's go back to what they did not show you in this video. Okay, how they said, let's compare apples to oranges. Okay, so let's compare those apples to oranges. Okay, first let's look at what they showed you, what they illustrated you, and I'm looking down because I wrote things down from the video that I want to make points on. Okay, let's go back to the basic thing that they did not show you, and this is very, very important. Okay, see, the sleight of hand tricks and things like that, man. You can do anything with numbers, but again, the general public don't understand life insurance. So to put an illustration like that together, you would think, man, that's awesome. Oh my God, let me get rid of this term. Let me go get this policy. This seems like, no. Okay, let's take a look at something basic that they failed to show you up front. Okay, the first thing they failed to show you up front is you have a 20-year level term policy versus a universal life policy that they're trying to sell you on. Now they're saying compare apples to oranges. So let's compare those apples to oranges. First, let's look at the cost. Okay, the first thing they didn't show you is as they illustrate, a $400,000 level term policy at $220 a year. Now let's break that down to the smallest. Okay, that $220,000 a year $220 a year policy that they told you about is only costing the family $18.33 a month. I'll say it again, $18.33 a month, okay, for a $400,000 policy. Now that's the level term at $400,000. So now let's look at their policy that they're trying to rah-rah you with, okay? The rah-rah policy that they're trying to rah-rah you with, $588,000, okay, for $6,000 a year, okay? The monthly cost on that is $500 a month. $500 a month. Now, if we're talking about middle-class families, you guys, I'm middle class. I'm not going to pay $500 a month for no life insurance plan. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't afford it. Can't do it. Gas prices, groceries, everything going up. I cannot afford $500 a month for a life insurance policy. Okay? So that's something that they failed to show you up front. Let's look at it. Compare apples to oranges. Would you want to pay $18 a month for a policy, or would you want to pay $500 a month for a policy? This is the apples and oranges that they compare. So if you're going to give people the truth, man, give them all of the truth so people can make logical and intelligent decisions, okay? Again, $18 a month, $500 a month. Hands down, what do you think a common family is going to be able to afford, okay? Let's do it the right way, apples and oranges, okay? So $18 a month versus $500 a month, right? Then in their illustration, what they wanted to show you is they took you to 2008 in their illustration, okay? They chose to pick a time period that they want to show you how the market went down, okay? But it's funny in that because there's a quote that I want to go back to let me see if I can find it, because I wrote a lot of things down in here, okay? This happened about 6:29 into the video, okay? His quote in there is when he was comparing apples and oranges, as he called it, and he went to his side and he started talking about the universal life policy. He says in there, maximum funded index universal life policy, also averaging 8.5%. Based on history, we want to ask you which, well, I'm sorry, let me quote him accurately. I don't want to misquote anybody, okay? Let me go back and read the quote in its entirety, okay? At 6:29 into the video, he says, maximum funded index universal life policy, also averaging 8.5%, based on history, which does have many guarantees built in it, and also allows us to participate in growth that the market experienced up to a capped amount. So now comparing apples and oranges, you have Dave Ramsey who told you to buy term and invest the difference. Now when you invest the difference, there is no capped amount, okay? If the market is going to do 8.5%, you're going to get paid on that, 8.5%. If the market skyrocket and jumps to all of a sudden a 24%, you're going to earn 24%. Now in this life insurance policy, because they capped off your return amount, you know, if it happens to go into a favorable position, because your policy is capped off, how many hundreds and thousands of dollars are you missing out on in growth because it was capped off? Okay, if you're talking about retirement and most people are trying to accelerate their income during that critical time of trying to save money for retirement, how would you like it if you found out that your money was capped off at a certain amount and the market is doing great, and all of a sudden your policy that you have isn't doing so great because your money was capped? Here's the thing, is that it's capped off for you, but it's not capped off for that insurance company. So you have to ask yourself, where does those extra dollars go? If you're capped off, it's obviously not going to your pocket. So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? That's something that you have to consider, okay? Another thing that I took a look at, that some of the disparities is let's go back to, all of a sudden they broke you down to a scene in there where they were talking about at retirement age at 65, okay? At 65, notice that in their illustration, according to the total monies combined, and that would be your cash value and the death benefit, okay? The cash value amount was at $679,000. Let me make sure I got my illustrations and my numbers right here. basically you had 600 some thousand in your cash value, and then you had over I believe he was pushing that you had over 500 something thousand dollars in a death benefit. Now when you combine those numbers, that's like over 1.5 million dollars. But if you go back and listen to what he said that the family would get the death benefit of 500 something thousand dollars. So what happens to the savings? I mean, if you're comparing apples and oranges, apples to oranges, why isn't the family receiving 1.5 million? That's the death benefit and the cash value that has accumulated in that policy. So why isn't the family getting 1.5 million, sir? Why are they only getting the death benefit that you stated, which is about $588,000? Why I have to ask this question. Why isn't the family getting 1.5 million with the combined death benefit and the cash value? Why aren't they getting their total amounts of money? This is what Dave Ramsey also knows about, and this is why he teaches to do buy term and invest the difference versus getting cash value. Because most financial experts, you guys, they teach you to separate the two, never combine them, separate the two. Okay, when you combine them, there's so many fees, hidden fees, and different transactions that are charging you, that in some of the true assumptions of these numbers that these guys are giving you, they're not accurate numbers, because they're not accounting for those fees and things in their illustration. There's so many hidden fees in the policy, you guys. That's why you have to take your life insurance policy out and read it for yourself. This is the failure in middle America, is most people don't read their policies. Okay, if you were to go out and just look at your policy and you add up the fees alone, you have to subtract those fees and everything out of the numbers that they're trying to sell you on, and you find out that it doesn't work in your favor. Okay, and as they illustrated, you have a death benefit. They try to sway you on the cash value amount and how much you have for life insurance, but at the like he stated, the family will get a death benefit of $588,000, but he never mentioned the cash value. Why? Because they don't give you both. You know, wouldn't you want a plan that if something happened to your family, it's your hard-earned money, you worked hard for it? So wouldn't you want your money to work hard for you as hard as you worked for it? So if that's the case, then I want a plan that if I have over $700,000 in cash value and I have a death benefit of $500,000, and my family should get $1.5 million, and that's what I work for. That's what I want them to have, and that's what they should get. It shouldn't be left to an insurance company until all of a sudden play this shell game with my money that I'm only getting a death benefit and the cash value all of a sudden disappears. What happens to that money? Okay, these are things that they didn't show you in the illustration, and I'm looking for a response back, you know, to this video, because trust me, I'll be able to find other loopholes and things. You know, I'm all into the, you know, population informing itself, you know, especially middle family America, man. You know, too many people take advantage of us and try to rip us off and stuff like that. But there are whistleblowers out there that I put the insurance industry on blast, you guys. And, you know, it's an old adage that says, if you want to hide anything, hide it in the library. You know, and that's so true, man, because most of us, you know, we work hard. We got so much life happening for us. You know, a lot of us don't read anymore. Okay, so what I want to share with you is I want to show you a couple books here that will help you understand life insurance a lot better. And a lot of these are pretty much whistleblowers that are trying to get the message out there, let us know the truth, you guys. I will want you to read these books and check them out to inform yourself, so that no one can ever take advantage of you. Okay, this first book, the author is his name is Arthur Milton, and he wrote a book. Hope you guys can see it. It's called How Your Life Insurance Policies Rob You, a guide to getting maximum insurance protection for minimum dollars. Yeah, middle America wants to actually save money, you guys. We're in the business of saving money, not trying to have people come and rob our precious dollars. So this is a very, very vital book. If you want to learn about life insurance, you got to inform yourself, you guys. Again, if you can see that the title down there, the art is by Arthur Milton. And again, How Your Life Insurance Policies Rob You, a guide to getting maximum insurance protection for minimum dollars. Get that book. It's out of print, so you have to really search for it. Okay, the library should have it though. Okay, I got this on Amazon, and it was, I think I paid like $2 for it. Okay, here's another book. This author is G. Scott Reynolds. okay, and it's called the Mortality Merchants. Mortality Merchants, the legalized racket of life insurance and what you can do about it. Man, did you know life insurance was a racket? These guys put up a pretty good racket video. And if you don't inform yourself, then people could put together nice literature and have you wooing and wowing, you know what I'm saying? Because they're playing on your lack of knowledge. So here's the information for you. You can arm yourself. You can be well informed so that when someone comes in your house, you're already informed, so you already know what to ask for. Don't sell me anything. This is what I want, okay? I want to pay $18 a month, not $500 a month for life insurance, okay? Another book, this is my favorite, you guys. This book, man, is powerful. It was written by Norman Dacey, okay? This book is called What's Wrong with Your Life Insurance, okay? It's an awesome book, man. To give you great diagrams, you know, pretty much in your face, easy to understand. Life insurance is actually not that hard to understand once you're taught about it, okay? So this video again is in defense of Dave Ramsey, because Dave Ramsey is a crusader for the middle class families, and I have to state that because some vehicles work for the affluent, but middle families, Americans, we're not the affluent. We're not trying to pay $500 a month for our life insurance with the so-called tax shelters, okay? We're trying to make our dollar stretch, okay? And a family with a $400,000 20-year level term policy for $18 a month, you can't beat that. Come on, you can't beat that, okay? You have 20 years to do what? You have 20 years to allow your 401k to work at your job if you're funding it right, and that's the key word, funding it right, okay? You're not just going in and say, okay, boss, this is what I want. No, you got to ask a lot of questions. You got to, know what type of investor you are, okay? And you have to fund that thing properly, okay? If you fund it properly, you got 20 years in your life insurance in place that if anything happens, you get $400,000. Your beneficiary will get $400,000 plus whatever money's accumulated in your 401k, your IRA, or any other investment, retirement investment you have outside of life insurance. Life insurance was never meant to be an investment plan, okay? That's only beneficial to the agent that sold it to you. Because imagine if an agent came to your house and he left with a $500 check that you're going to be paying every month on a $6,000 a year policy, okay? He's going to leave your house grinning from ear to ear because his compensation on that is going to be so fat, man. He's going to love the fact that you were not informed and he was able to come in and sell you on a presentation like these gentlemen put together for you. But like I said up front, he should have told you the actual cost of these policies up front. Again, you're talking to middle class families. I would rather pay $18 a month. I don't care if my policy ends in 20 years, because in 20 years my game plan is different anyway. I was able to put money aside, save money, so now I can now reconfigure. My outlook is different. I can say, well, 20 years, it was good to me. I was able to save some money. I put some things away. Yeah, I needed $400,000 in the beginning because I didn't have nothing, okay? But now 20 years later, I have some stuff. So I can reevaluate and reassess. So when I reevaluate and reassess, I look at my 20-year policy, which is renewable. See, he didn't tell you that either, huh? He didn't tell you that the policy is renewable. No, they didn't tell you that. They always fail to tell you the good stuff. Yeah, that policy is renewable though, okay? So now when I renew my term, I now have my goal, my life is different now. I can now say, you know what? Back then I needed that $400,000, okay? Because I didn't have nothing. But now that my house is paid for, okay? I have in excess, using their illustration, let's say I had the over $400,000 in cash in my pocket now, okay? Things look differently now. So if I wanted to renew that policy, if I just wanted to save my family from the headache of final expenses, I can take that policy down to like $20,000. That should take care of final expenses, have a nice little funeral and everything, So now that $400,000 level term policy that I got, if I want to flip that and throw it back on another 20 years, just for final expenses, I can do that, and the cost goes down again. Okay, why? Because I'm not paying $400,000 for a $400,000 policy anymore. I reduced that sucker all the way down to $20,000. Okay, so I wonder how much would that be. See how powerful it is to be informed. Hey, read those books. Get that information. I can't wait to see these guys' response to this, to see how they try to wiggle out of this, because I will also respond to any responses, or they might even delete this because they don't want people knowing the truth. Okay. Hey, again, I'm Reggie. I'm just an advocate. I'm trying to help educate people and teach people and train people. You know, I was once in the dark myself, but hey, yes, I hold a life. I have a life agent license. Okay. I have a life agent license, and I educate and I train people on how to do the right things with their money, paying $18 a month versus $500 a month. Okay. So if you want more information, you can hit me up, man. You know, I do things for free, and we can talk and we can chat, and I can give you resources and information on how to make better plans for your families. This video that these guys put together, although it looks attractive, you guys, there's a lot of glitches, a lot of things that they didn't tell you up front. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Let's do a better job than that. If you really care about people, man, let's tell people the truth and let's do the right thing for them. Okay? Hey, you guys have a productive day. I hope you liked this, and I hope it was informative for you. Okay? Take care. God bless. Bye bye.